Good afternoon. TJ Kim is an associate professor of industrial design in Purdue's Department of Art and Design. Prior to joining academia, he worked for more than 18 years as a design leader, delivering leading-edge products and business solutions at corporations and as a consultant. He's won many design awards and holds more than 50 US patents. His research interest is the commercialization of design and building design platforms and communities to help students develop their own products and establish a company in collaboration with others, allowing them to gain real industry experience and knowledge by practicing design as a part of business solution. Today he will present a talk titled Design for Future User Experience, Expectations in Tomorrow's World. Please take a moment to silence all your electronic devices, but please keep them out because we want you live tweeting with the hashtag Dawn or Doom. Thank you.
So thank you for the introduction. And yeah, as he mentioned, like I was working for the industry for about 15 years, and I just made a transition to academia role 3 years ago. So I'm sort of new at Purdue. But I'm really enjoying my experience here, like the experience of teaching the students. The students are really great. And a lot of presentations, I saw, they are talking about the future as a doom. I'm gonna be talking about how future could be really bright, down. And so hopefully you guys can enjoy my presentation, not depressed about the future. So design for the future user experience. This is actually a project that I was working on it in 2012, actually, before I joined Purdue. Working for the industry, I was doing this for the AG presentation. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about 4 different types of user experience types. What's going to be the behaviors we'll discover from today, what's we're going to see in the future as a product's outcomes. So before I give you my presentation, I always do this, talking about myself, telling a story, not as a professional person, but as how I came to US, how I become a professor at Purdue. So I came to US when I was a senior in the high school. So this was in 1990, a long time ago, 27 years ago. And I came to a little state called Rhode Island. So how many people here have been to Rhode Island here? Okay, even though there are a lot of Americans here never been to Rhode Island. That's how small that state is. And I went to study at a small city called North Citrate. And it's a city of less than 10,000 people living in. So in a small state at a small city. And when I came to US, actually the city found out that wow, we have someone from Korea studying in our town. He's the only Asian in our town. Let's write a newspaper article about it. So they actually wrote a newspaper. They done an interview and then wrote a newspaper article about it. But there's a funny thing. When I came to US, I did not speak a word of English. And so my sort of life at the time was miserable because I didn't know what to expect, what I would become in the future. So my future at the time was doom because, I really didn't know what I would become in the future, not knowing the language. Of course, some of you guys are here, yeah, still struggling, learning the language, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard, learning a different language. But what's more hard is learning the culture. So when I came to US, I didn't have much friends. And can you find me in this picture? It's pretty obvious. Where, can you find me in this picture? Yes? Where? I told you there was only one Asian at the school. So there's only one Asian, this is me. And I confess, I look different. You know what? At the time, I was working out hard because you know what's the best way to make friends in US? What everyone have been telling me? You need to be good in sports. So I was working out every single day, I was a little bigger, I think, in the picture than where I am now. So I was bigger. But still, look at my face. In the picture, I'm not smiling. Look at my face now. I'm actually smiling. I smile all the time in the class. And yes, something happened in my life. There's always a turning point in your life, and that turning point will change your future. And I had that moment. So my English teacher decided to me, she encouraged me to join the school chorus. And so she thought I would learn the language quicker if I do join the school chorus. So I was like, I had no choice. So I joined the school chorus. And this is a chorus, okay? 2 months after, the conductor, a chorus conductor, told us, the whole class, that we'll be entering international competition, in Canada. I'm like, whoa, this is a problem. You know why? I cannot sing. I'm a bad singer. But we went to the competition, and there were thousands of people sitting in front of us, and our turn came. And of course, he didn't want to be a racist, so he's like, TJ, why don't you stand in the middle? Because if we put you on the side, that would be odd. So I was standing in the middle. And I'm not that tall, so I had to stand in front of other people. And standing in front of thousands of people, we had 30 high schools competing in this competition. And I started singing a song that I don't even know the meaning of. This is the part of it. Walk a little slower, my friend, and take a little time along the way. We don't need to borrow any moment from tomorrow. There's so much for us for here today. Hey. Oh my God. Told you, I'm not a good singer. But you know what? I learned the meaning of the song. Don't worry about tomorrow, because there's so much happening now. You know what we do all the time? We worry too much about tomorrow. We cannot enjoy what's happening around us. And a miracle happened. We actually won the first place at the competition. That was amazing, even though I was a bad singer. How did that happen? Because chorus is about us. We sing together, not by myself. So I learned that if we work together, we can actually achieve a lot more. We can achieve bigger dreams. And I started having dreams about the future. And I joined a lot of different clubs at the time. The math club, art club, and many other clubs. I was in the varsity soccer team and the volleyball team as well. And I saw myself achieving this award. I was one of the 4 winners of this award from the graduate school. That really pushed me really hard to dream about the future, what I can become in the future. So we always dream about the future, don't we? Yes, you do. What does the future look like? Yes.
I think about the future of my children.
Yeah, we care about others. We want to build the future to be better for our kids. And so seeing the future, I'm going to talk about how we can see the future. That is the topic of my presentation. So Futurama, do you guys know the cartoon Futurama? That's actually the main title of my presentation, Futurama. What does the future look like in Futurama? Do you guys remember?
It's just like The Simpsons.
Oh, okay. Okay, it looks just like Simpsons. So I'm not gonna read it to you. Actually, like I'm gonna talk about this later. Like I'm not gonna read this to you. But future that we imagine may look like this. What is this? What does it remind you? Like this picture. Anything? Have you guys in 1996, this it was presented, the story goes like this. Philip accidentally, he accidentally touches a machine and he actually put himself into this, not time machine, like this frozen capsule. And he wakes up 100 years after. And when he wakes up, he sees the future. And the future looked different. And 2012, what is this? Anyone know what this is? Yes? Hyperloop? Who spoke about Hyperloop? Elon Musk. He's here's a bright future we can imagine. We can see the future. We can see it. We are traveling from New York to LA in how many hours? Anyone know? Yeah, faster than plane. So this is the Hyperloop that Elon Musk spoke about. Guess what? This is not spoken by him, only by him. In 1900, someone else actually had this dream. Also in 1960, there's another version of this dream. And in 1963, there was another version. That's weird. Someone else actually dreamed about this. What's wrong with this picture? We think Elon Musk came up with this idea. No, he didn't. He actually discovered the opportunity. So what happened? There's another paper I wrote. There's an innovation gap by the technology delay. Even though we have this future, we dream about this future, there's always technology delay. We cannot achieve the goal with the current technology. But what has been changed is that Elon Musk, he saw the opportunity. Yes, with today's technology, we can deliver the Hyperloop. And I'm going to show you a video of this person, Martin Cooper. Martin Cooper is an engineer he was an engineer at Motorola. Let me show you how he's found this opportunity of building the future.
Think of the world back in 1966. Almost all telecommunications was by wire. You wanted to talk to somebody, you had to plug into a wall. In the entire United States, there were perhaps 50,000 car telephones, and even they didn't work very well.
Yep, back in those days, the state of global communications was a bit of a drag. All those missed casting calls, lost date opportunities, and why? The more Marty thought about it, the more he realized there was only one answer. An impossible dream. Or was it?
The people are fundamentally, inherently mobile. They move around. They never would want to be leashed, tied to a desk or to their home or to their office if they have a choice.
One day, during a break from his heavy schedule of pondering, Marty happened upon an episode of Star Trek and a piece of 23rd century technology that would change his life and take the whole world with it.
Hi, Captain.
And suddenly, there's Captain Kirk talking on his communicator. Talking with no dialing. That was not a fantasy to us, although to the rest of the world it was. But to me, that was an objective.
Oh my God. That seems to be a really cool device. Do you have that device now? It's actually old technology now. We don't have that device, because that device was introduced in 1996. But you gotta look at this. This was featured on Star Trek in 1964. That's a long time ago. But what? 10 years after, about 10 years after, we had something called mobile phone. Any of you remember that phone, like the Motorola phone? It was this big. You can actually kill a person with this thing. That's how big this was. But it took another, what, about 23 years to build something that looks similar to what it has been featured on the movie. Guess what? So Martin Cooper actually found the opportunity for the innovation. He did not invent the innovation, invented the device. So we can all discover the opportunity for innovation, can we? Yes? But how do we find that? That is the question. And I have the answers for you guys. So strategic design process, like if people ask me like what kind of a design you do, I tell people that I do strategic design process, how the design can be applied as a strategy for businesses. So I'm going to simplify what that means. So have you, any one of you, seen this like a framework? Yes? 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 It's called a double diamond, like a process map. So a design, strategic design, is a little different from like the other type of design we know. Like it's highly practiced in the industry. So discover is a research phase, and there's a reason for the shape here. I'm going to talk about that. Here, research divergence process. We gather a lot of information, as much as information as possible. And then there's a second stage, define strategy. We converge, like we actually analyze the data. We narrow the focus. Then we go into development again, idea generation, divergence process. We create a lot of ideas. And then another process of deliver to narrow the focus again. Develop products for the market. I redefined this chart because this is not my chart. Okay, I came up with another process called the big diamond process to redefine this. Why? Because we have other process in this like a strategic design process, which is called analysis and the synthesis. In the analysis, we come up with a lot of different directions. And we have to evaluate these directions, and we have to narrow the focus in the strategy. The business have a lot of different strategies. And based on the strategy, we have to pick one direction. Also, again, exploration. Like we have to explore a lot of ideas. But how do we narrow the focus after the exploring the concept? You evaluate the concepts. So I actually call this, oops, sorry. So here's an intellectual design. That's what we do with our head, the design process from like in our head. Here is a technical design. Like this is what we do with our hands and like using computers or tools. So I redefined the process, and there's a reason for redefining the process, because we need to have multiple directions for design approaches. We don't just have one design approach. We have multiple design approaches. Of course, the traditional design, the visceral, like design is one of the approach. But we have a branded design, human-centered design, technology integration design, and more. Universal design, and like there are many different approaches in design. So we find all these like design directions, but I still have an answer to you, like how do we design for the future? I'm going to talk about technology integration design. And I'm going to show you another chart like here. This is called like a trend analysis, like a process map. So how the trend happens and how the trend like become popular and like disappear. So the trend happens with the innovators. The video, do you remember seeing the abnormal behaviors in the video? People like trying to walk on the water and like doing crazy things. These are the innovators. Sometimes we don't discover them define them as innovators. We call them crazy people. But once they have followers, early adopters, like some of the innovators can lead other people, and some people follow their behaviors. And suddenly that becomes a trend. So this is the early stage of the trend. And we have more people following. When more than 50% of the population following the trend, it becomes a big trend. And then more than 50 people adopt the trend, it's suddenly starting to disappear. Why? What is trend? Originality. Once you lose the value of originality, it's not a trend anymore. So how do we design for the future user experience? By studying this 16% of human behaviors and desires. So we talk about human-centered design for what? Based on problem solving. I still practice problem solving approach. Yes, I do. It is a great value, and we can actually help a lot of people. But I studied under Don Norman, at Northwestern. He talked about this. Human-centered design is great. We can benefit a lot of people, but that does not deliver innovation. And I totally agree with him. Why? Innovation is something that did not happen yet. So how do we design for the future? So human desires versus human behaviors. How do we discover the human desires? And you may not agree with me on this. It's okay. We can discuss about it after the presentation. So since the time limit, I don't have I'm not going to be present the whole process, how I discovered these human behaviors. I'm just going to talk about 4 different types of human behaviors that was discovered. The physical experience. Here, we find a lot of evidence of physical experience. I grew up as a Nintendo generation, looking at the computer screen and playing the game, doing this, sitting at the couch. There's no physical movement. Yeah? But human desire has what? We want to move. We want to control the character on the screen as we do the move, same thing as we want to have what is avatar? We want to have the same character that represent me on the screen. That's the desire. So we find a lot of evidence of that from the games. And robotic development. We want to have something representing me exactly the same way I do things. So physical experience is what we really want, not only the digital experience. So we are in the transition from moving from the digital experience to physical experience. And I am a designer. I have to come up with ideas, new ideas. So if you look at this, you're like, oh, that's a smartwatch. Yes, it's a smartwatch. In 2012, smartwatch did not exist. So it was my version of a smartwatch. And what is the difference in this version versus your smartwatch? I can tell you about it. There's an input system here. This input system will touch your body. And your body becomes conductive. Your body is a conductive material. It can transfer data. So if that's the case, what are the things we can do as a user experience? What if I can just handshake someone I meet on the street? Nice to meet you. As you do that, automatically your data gets transferred to the other person wearing the same watch. Why? Because this is a normal behavior. You introduce each other by handshaking. So we don't have to go through another step of inputting, what's your name? What's your phone number? We don't have to do that. Why do we have to take another step? And in this case, 5 years after I met someone, I may not remember where I met the person, who the person is. But the system can tell me where I met the person, like, why I met the person, and the person's information automatically. So I don't have to look like a dumb person. I don't remember you. I do remember you, even though it was 10 years ago I met you, by just handshaking. And what if it updates, simply updates my phone, like, by handshaking, updating the information. If someone forgot to tell me their new information, it can update to, like, information automatically. What if we can encourage our kids to play outside more? The parents always scream to their kids, don't play the game on your iPhone. Why? I'm a Nintendo generation. I grew up fine. Okay. Why is it bad playing a game? It's not. But we should encourage our kids to play outside more. We can use the technology to improve this physical activity outside like a house. Then they will play outside. So what if we tag it? Do you know what the game is? Yeah? You chase after someone and you tag the person. What if the color changes automatically? Yeah, we don't have to argue about who is the it. And here's a funny thing. My son, he's 6 years old. He was already able to use the smartphone at 2 years old. I found that this phenomena behavior. He knew how to use the phone and taking pictures while I'm in sleep and taking a lot of pictures. After I wake up, he showed me pictures like this. But I found another behavior. He goes to the TV, and nothing happens. He's frustrated. What if just by wearing the watch, we can actually embed like a gyroscope, we can have the location system embedded in the watch. And if this syncs with the TV, we can make the TV act like a touchscreen. So, smartwatch, I see many different versions came out from big companies. I actually haven't seen these types. Okay, the second behavior types, I call it digital experience. We talked about technology delay and the innovation gap. Another phenomena that I discovered is a human adaptability delay. You know what's happening now? There are a lot of technology coming out every single day. We don't even have time to catch up with the speed of technology coming out. What is another human desire? We need to have a time to learn these things. Because it's changing so dramatically every single day. I don't know, I don't even know how to learn these devices. I don't have time to learn these devices. So in our desire, we also have you know what? I wish the analog still exists, so we can actually combine digital products with the analog interactions. So we actually find that from some of the products. You know what touch screen is? It's actually, you may think it's a digital technology. No. You know what touchscreen does to you guys? You can actually physically touch things and interact with the things. In the computer, in all the days, you know what? There's a monitor, there's a keyboard. Input and output is a separate device. What's happening? I'm typing here, but I'm seeing my screen here with my eyes. There's no direct interaction. Touchscreen allowed to have direct interaction. So you may think it's a digital experience. No, it is also an analog experience because we learned growing up, learning how to touch things. So this is my version of a smart plug. You guys may have seen smart plugs. Again, in 2012, this did not exist. Now we see a lot of versions of smart plugs. How many people have smart plugs? You, yeah? Some of you guys, okay? I'm gonna show you a different version of a smart plug. A smart plug is it's not smart. Do you know that? It's just on-off switch. There's a little signal, from your phone, send out data to your plug, and it's just on-off switch. It's not really smart. To be smart, you gotta have a micro, like a chip embedded into the device. So that device is not a smart device. Your phone is. So what if we actually use the phone as a brain, create a different user experience? So I created these 4 different types of user experience with this smart plug. What if it works together with your alarm? So I wake up at 7:10. My alarm is ringing, isn't it? What if my lights is also coming on? It helps me to wake up better, isn't it? Like if the light is on. And if that doesn't work, I actually read another article like last week. Snooze is actually bad. Like it actually does not work like for a lot of people. What if the machine coffee maker starting to brewing the coffee? I can smell the coffee. Maybe it'll help me wake up. If that doesn't work, okay, last thing, TV comes on. My son wakes up like by showing the showing the his favorite drama like on the smartphone. So, and 8:10, I go to work, I go to school, all the system is off automatically. That's all done by your phone, not by the device, because your device is just on-off switch. Another mode, what if TV comes on automatically? So you never have to miss your favorite channel. Also, again, another mode, okay, how many people here are parents? Okay, do you tell your kids not to watch TV for a long time? What's your threshold? 2 hours, 3 hours? No? What if we can set up the time? You can only watch the TV 3 hours a day. And what he can do is he can only watch 1 hour today, save 2 hours for tomorrow. He can watch 5 hours tomorrow if we actually is smart. So if there's any of his favorite show, happening tomorrow, he can save the time. So we can actually teach them how to behave better. We should not tell our kids not to watch the TV. They should watch the TV. I grew up watching TV, and I'm fine, perfectly fine. I'm a professor at Purdue, so it must be proving that I'm fine. So what if we can control the time? This is one of my favorite modes. Vacation mode. When I go on vacation, you know what's the best way to protect your house? A lot of the systems we have is a reactive system. We react to the situation. After someone comes into your house, you react to the situation. What if we can be more proactive? Discourage people to come into my house. So the lights comes on randomly, the radio plays randomly, but the TV plays randomly. Then people, the criminals would think there is a person in the house at the time or for the period of time when you are not at home. So that's interesting. I'm going to talk about the third, behavior types or what we can expect in the future. Informatics experience, data collection, composition, and communication. You know who is doing the best job in this category of experience? Yes? Google. Yes. They don't know what to do with the data. They just collected the data. But they know how to find the application of the data in the future. There's a lot of data. The data are from our behaviors. And by learning our behaviors, you can actually implement that as a business idea. Sorry, that's what they're doing. We talk about Google, how evil they are. They are trying to make money by collecting our data, but that's what they do. But also at the same time, that makes our life a little more easier, doesn't it? I'm going to show you an example. What if our refrigerator has a barcode scanner? Every food we buy now has a barcode scanner. Even the vegetables have a barcode scanner. What can we do if that happens? Ooh, you can tell me when I purchase the food, you can tell me automatically when it's going to expire. So I don't have to remember, like when I bought this, I don't have to physically check the condition of the food. You can tell me automatically, send me a message. You know what? You should drink up your water like quickly, otherwise it's gonna get bad. What if I can see what's in the freezer without seeing the freezer? You can tell me what I have in the freezer, not only at your house, when I'm at work. Because you are scanning the food using the barcode. You are checking out the food using the barcode. And you know what you can do? I thought about app idea. Okay, what if these are the list of the food, like ingredients I have. If I just shake the phone, it tells me what kind of food I can make only with the ingredients that I have. That would be a cool app. And I don't know, like I don't know about this. Like yeah, I just had to throw this in. Like I want to have kids-friendly refrigerator. So kids want to have their own refrigerator section. Like what if we give them like a section for them? But also at the same time, kids can tell their parents remotely what they are missing by checking out the food, the barcode scanner, using the barcode scanner. Mom, I need a yogurt, without calling the mom. So this is my last experience type. So like I know I'm running out of time. So hyper reality experience, like a virtual world and the real world. Like I call it hyper reality experience because what we desire in the future is enhancing the real world experience. Everyone talking about virtual reality. That's not our desired experience. It's actually based on technology, based on the technology delay. What we really want to see in the future is enhancing our real-world experience by adding the technology to it. So let me talk about that, what that looks like. So what if I have a glasses, like it has two cameras, like on both sides, left eye and the right eye, and they place the screen like real time as you wear the device. What can we do? This is a little different approach from Google Glasses, like because what we can do is it's enhancing our vision. I'm not trying to take a photo. I'm not trying to see the screen like my data from my phone. I just want to enhance the vision. I can actually make things larger and smaller. I can actually make the road brighter. And what if I go to like a museum and if I look at the two-dimensional paint, I can make it into three-dimensional painting. I can see the field of depth better in the painting. What if I can increase the peripheral vision with this thing? While I'm driving, I can minimize the blind spot. This is later, 3 years after, I thought about another application of this. What if we make glasses for blind people? So this system, there's input and the output. The output system will vibrate as I walk on the street. Tell me if the left vibrates, there's an object on the left side. Right side vibrates, there's an object on the right side. If both vibrates, there's something in front of me. What if we can enable blind people to walk on the street like a normal person? So we can make them see things that they cannot see. My presentation is coming to the end. So these are my dreams and visions, like desires. But if I don't implement this, it's going to be just left as a dream. So I'm working with this team. This is our team. They're not here, but so AQPS is a startup team, at Purdue, and I'm working closely with them, help them developing this virtual reality device. And in this device, we have a tracking system, that helps to track your position and the orientation of the head. So they work with any type of head-mounted displays in the future. So, gee, I dreamed about things in 2012. Now I'm actually implementing some of them. That's amazing. So seeing the future. In my opinion, my role is about seeing the future, visionary planner. I want to actually see the future, tell the future, and bring the future. This is how it looks. We always want to see things. In the past, 1,000 years ago, we wanted to see the future. We couldn't see the future. This was something we used, lying to people. Now I can see the future. I can tell you what your future would be. Guess what? In the movie, we saw this. This was what movie showed 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Wow, that's cool. If we can do that, that would be great. That was the desire that we had. But you know what? We can actually deliver the experience today with today's technology by integrating different technology into one machine, single machine. So we are able to deliver this future user experience today if we know how to connect these technologies. So this is my last page. I wrote this, I'm not a good writer, but I wrote this a year ago, giving this presentation at Chinese University. The future is near us, closer than what we think. We can bring the future even more closer to us if we understand better about the human nature, learning from their behaviors and the emotional desires. Designers, engineers, and scientists have special abilities. We have the special abilities. An ability to see the future and the ability to show the future to the others. But most importantly, we have the ability to bring the future today by connecting and combining technologies to make your dreams into reality. That's my conclusion in this presentation. Thank you.
We have a few minutes for questions if you have any questions.
Any? Yes?
Have you seen Black Mirror?
Huh?
Black Mirror, Britain TV drama.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Highly recommend it. So how do you solve the security problem? Like some people would hack into the system, or people are so concentrated on what they see and they ignore the
Okay.
real world danger.
So my answer to that is not directly answering to your question, but downward doom. We worry about tomorrow so much. It's going back to the first, the song I sang. We worry about tomorrow too much. And if we don't take action, not doing anything about it, we're not going to see anything getting improved. So I understand the future, we worry about security and all this, identity theft. But if we do it now, we can actually evaluate, from the reactions that we collect, we can evaluate if it's good or not. Then we can actually come up with another solution for the security or the identity theft. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Yes? What sports did you play in high school? Oh, I played soccer and volleyball. I have here, I bumped into someone's teeth, when I was playing soccer. I have a little scar here. After that, I stopped playing soccer. Actually, my nickname in the high school was a Black Horse because I was fast and never stopped running. So people called me as a Dark Horse, Black Horse.
Let's give Professor Kim another round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.